Hi guys, it is 6:05 p.m. on Friday, the 175th day I'm doing this. Here is your daily dose of hope. And it has been a whirlwind, but I'm just really grateful ultimately because my daughter had her choir concert last night, and then afterwards she wasn't feeling good, and so then any plans I had for today for myself just instantly were canceled. And that's all fine. Like, that genuinely is fine. But I found myself feeling like, not spiraling down like a depression, but spiraling as far as just feeling like, okay, now what do I do? And I realized, they say that ADHD brain, I've been doing a lot more research about that because I actually enjoy doing that, is interest based rather than important based. And I think for me, it's satisfaction based. But it's not like I'm not into like instant gratification, like really unhealthy things per se. Like, I have a lot of discipline overall, I would say, in that. But it's more of, I'm just having these epiphanies. Well, this was after, because I was like, do I take my walk? Do I eat something? Do I drink water? Like the pen, right? All those thoughts coming at the same time. And here's the facts. I did some meditations, but I played a game during it, but that was just to like at least do something. And then I ended up doing, at some point, I got up and I drank some water. I think I even ate something. I went for my walk, but I was not feeling great. And so I turned on the meditation. I told myself, listen to your body, turn back around. I still was out there for 20 minutes, right? In freezing weather. So my point is that I'm just having these epiphanies that what I want to do moving forward is create time blocks, not necessarily the traditional way, but realize that if I, let's say, get the mail every Monday, and I set a timer for 20 minutes, and I say, work on the mail, like the category of mail, for 20 minutes. And I do that every Monday. That's going to take care of a lot of papers, because I'm assuming it's not going to take me 20 minutes every Monday to go through the mail. But if I have that consistency, predictability, routine, then, but without pressure, right? It's not like mail every day, this every single day, every single thing every single day. That's literally not possible. But I also don't like this idea. I truly don't like the idea of like, you have one ball, you have balls in the air and then they start falling all down and then you crash and burn, right? And so anyway, I am ultimately excited about it because I can set the timer for 20 minutes. I could even create a playlist or something during that time, but even if not, I can turn on music. I could turn on a 20-minute meditation, whatever. Turn on something to keep me company. Tell myself for the next 20 minutes, that's what we're focused on. And then the rest of the week, like, I'm not saying I can't get the mail or I can't go through mail, but I don't have to it's not like an open loop all the time, right? It's not like this sporadic, it's hard to explain, but it just makes me feel like I've got that like anchor, like, okay, that's what happens on Mondays, done. And then I thought Tuesday can be trash. I can take out trash other days of the week, but I can tell myself, and I've never even been behind on trash. That's the wild part in all this, right? I've never even ever had like multiple bags of trash, but my mind is always focused on it so that that doesn't happen. See, so it's still draining energy. And I'm like, okay, so then Tuesday can be trash. And on Mondays, on my way home from my walk, so then that, see, is even more motivation to take a walk and get the mail. And then Tuesdays on the way to my walk, I can take out the trash, you know? And then last Saturday, you know, we cleaned out the fridge and did it very methodically and everything. And then at least tried to meal plan, you know, and I thought we're going to do that every Saturday. And again, it's not like it's going to take as long as it did last Saturday, but that's my whole point, is to like, I've realized it's not about the tasks we do. It's about the feeling it gives us. Like if we feel like we're on top of things, if we feel like we're making progress, that is what's motivating, right? So let's say you spend 7 hours cleaning something and you burn yourself out and you're like, you know, I don't want to say useless, but you know, like you can't do anything for 2 weeks after that. That's not actually like the possible benefits you have from the 7 hours are ruined, because now you've depleted yourself to the point where you can't do anything. You can't make any momentum for 2 more weeks. So that was my old MO, especially with exercise, right? But I was checking in because I did breath work as well today. And at first I'm like, well, I don't even have the energy. And I said, well, do the rep though. Like it really does. And I tell you, I felt a little bit better afterwards. And then I did affirmations. And so my whole point with this is try this. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, and so it just sort of dilutes any sort of feeling of progress, I would suggest trying something like this every single day and realize that your performance doesn't have to be the same every single day. But if you do the rep every single day, overall, that's going to be beneficial because one is better than none. You're keeping the habit, which just is going to make it easier the next day to do the habit, right? Like, it's actually really exciting for me personally, because when it was like, okay, my daughter's homesick, so I can't do anything, and the place is, and I thought, oh my gosh, and then I thought, actually, hold on, that doesn't necessarily have to be true. Okay, what? And I'm still figuring everything out, don't get me wrong, but like I said, the facts are I've done multiple meditations today, a walk today, came up with an idea to refine our evening routine. I'm actually going to turn off the TV at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. And I'm going to spend 20 minutes, I'm going to set a timer on the living room. And I'm even telling myself, you don't even have, it's just the obvious stuff. It's just about the habit. It's about creating the habit. And then after she's done, like, ready for bed, the last bit of time before we go upstairs, we're going to color together or do Legos together, and I thought that's actually really good, because then that is starting the wind down process for my brain earlier, which is only going to be a good thing. And what I'm learning, especially about ADHD or whatever, right? Like overwhelm is, well, no, I guess it wouldn't be overwhelm, but yeah, is we work best in sprints. So to say, okay, do a little bit all day long, it feels like a racehorse that's being restrained for 12 hours. And you're just like, but if you let yourself, when possible, work in sprints and then recover, key thing, it's like, then when it's my recovery time, I can, fingers crossed, recover more deeply and like with less resistance, because I got the stuff done, if that makes sense. It's just really exciting when you kind of feel like you're in this pit, but then you're like, well, what could I possibly get out of this today, right now, with the tools I have? I feel like that's very empowering, and that's why I'm sharing all that. That's why I share everything that I do, because it's not because I'm like, oh, I know this is going to work. It's more like I've realized at the end of the day, I feel better about myself and I have more peace if I've tried, So anytime where it's like, oh, I guess I'll just spend the day in bed, it's like, nah, that's not what I actually want to do. So, yeah, it's just amazing. I'm really altering, like changing the way I'm viewing things as far as what is acceptable? Like, it's hard to explain, but I'm seeing how but the bottom line is I'm seeing how I would rather try every day than not try, you know? And how one more thing I'm going to do every day is I think by 8 a.m., if not before then, I'm going to go outside, at least on the porch, because that morning light is really important for our brains and our bodies. You know, these things that I feel like other people might have, not everybody else obviously, but, you know, kind of bumpers. Like they have like, okay, well, I'll call this person, or I'll, you know, I've got a pet, or, you know, I don't necessarily have any of that right now, but there's still things I can do. So it's like, okay, so do those things, if that makes sense. So even though it might seem like I'm having to work twice as hard right now, I would rather do that than kind of like I always picture water. Let's say people are surfing. Even if I have to, you know, pedal twice as hard to get on that board every day, I'd rather do that than stay on the shore. There we go. That's a good analogy. Okay. Remember, you are the sky. You were here yesterday. You're here today. You will be here tomorrow. And you deserve to be here every single day. And yeah, I love you guys. I hope you have an awesome night.